Here are the 8 main types of ecosystem and some of the things that can be done to revive them. We will share these 8 main types of ecosystem and its benefits so that the people will preserve these ecosystems. Ecosystems can be large like a forest or small like a pond. Many are crucial to human societies, providing people with water, food, building materials, and a host of other essentials. They also provide planet-wide benefits like climate protection and biodiversity conservation. First on the list are farmlands. Over-intensive use, soil erosion, excess fertilizer, and pesticides are exhausting many farmlands. Ways to restore them include reducing tillage, using more natural fertilizer and pest control, and growing more diverse crops including trees. These steps can rebuild carbon stores in soils, making them more fertile so countries can feed their growing populations without using even more land. The restoration of farmland also creates habitats for wildlife. Nitrogen from fertilizers used in industrial agriculture not only pollutes air and water, it also helps drive climate change. Second, forests. Forests and trees are being cleared to feed humanity's hunger for land and resources. Logging, firewood cutting, pollution, invasive pests, and wildfires are damaging what remains. Restoring forest ecosystems means replanting and reducing the pressure on forests so that trees regrow naturally. Food systems are a major driver of forest loss. Reconsidering the way people grow and consume food can help reduce the pressure on forests. Degraded and disused farmland can be ideal for forest restoration, which can also mean nurturing patches of forest and woodland in landscapes that include busy farms and villages. Forests provide a habitat for 80% of the world's amphibian species as well as most birds and mammals. Third, lakes and rivers. Safe and abundant water has become luxury. Freshwater ecosystems have been degraded by pollution, overfishing, and infrastructure, as well as the extraction of more and more water for irrigation, industry, and homes. Restoration means halting pollution, reducing and treating waste, managing demand for water and fish, and reviving vegetation above and below the surface. Many fish eat insects, so humanity can restore rivers by letting more insect-friendly plants grow on their banks. Fourth, grasslands and savannas. Shrublands, grasslands, and savannas are being overgrazed and eroded, converted to agriculture, and invaded by alien species. Humans can help them rebound by clearing woody vegetation and reseeding native grasses. Lost plants and animals can be introduced and protected until they are established. Pastoralists and other users must have a big part in plans to manage these ecosystems sustainably. Grasslands and savannas are where humans evolved million years ago. Mountains. In mountain regions, clearing slopes for farming or house can trigger dangerous erosion and pollute rivers at their source. Soaring temperatures are forcing species, ecosystems, and people to adapt or move. Humanity can counter the trend by reviving forests and restoring the protection they provide against avalanches, landslides, and floods. Officials can plan dams and roads to avoid fragmenting rivers and other habitats. Farming techniques like agroforestry can be more resilient in the face of climate change. At least 600 glaciers have vanished in recent decades, affecting water supplies for billions of people living downstream. Oceans and coasts. Marine ecosystems are under assault from pollution, climate change, and overexploitation. But the solutions are as common as the threats. Governments and communities can make fishing and mangrove harvesting more sustainable. They can they can properly treat sewage and other waste and stop plastic trash from entering the water. Coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrasses must be carefully managed and actively restored so that oceans can continue to support billions of livelihoods globally. Seagrass is a hidden climate champion, capturing carbon up to 35 times faster than tropical rainforests. Peatlands. Peatlands, peatlands and their massive stores of carbon and water are being drained and converted for agriculture and degraded by fire. Overgrazing, pollution, and peat extraction. Avoiding dangerous climate change means holding peatland carbon where it is, wet and in the ground. At the same time, humanity must re-wet and restore many degraded peatlands, for instance, by closing drainage channels to halt their emissions and protect rare plants and animals. Peatlands cover only 3% of the world's land but store almost one-third of the oil carbon in its soils. Urban areas. Cities and towns can seem like ecological deserts. There's a little room for vegetation amid the houses, roads, and factories. Waste and pollution imperil waterways, soils, and in the air, but urban areas have huge potential for restoration. Citizen groups and municipal authorities can clean up waterways, let bee-friendly plants and grow, and create urban woodland and other wildlife habitats in parks, schools, and other public spaces. Mowing grass less frequently is cheaper for cities and allows nature to thrive. Permeable sidewalks and urban wetlands protect against flooding and pollution. Contaminated industrial areas can be rehabilitated and turned into places for nature and recreation. More than 280 species of birds have been recorded in New York City Central Park. That's all. In recent decades, humanity's hunger for resources has pushed many ecosystems to the breaking point. That's why this video will try to encourage many people to preserve ecosystems.